Hey everyone, I just want to reach out and thank the commenters, the likers, the new subscribers for liking and everything on my page. I really appreciate the followings. I really appreciate the comments, the likes, everything. It shows me that I'm teaching other people or just kind of giving them knowledge behind what I do, and if they make cups as well, what they do, and just other tips and tricks. So thank you so much. The other thing, I know I haven't posted in a while, so I really wanted to reach out to you guys and just kind of talk. So I haven't posted in a while because I found out I'm pregnant, so I try not to work with cups too often. If I do, I make sure that I'm using proper protection when it comes to the epoxy because it's not super safe to work with. I have gotten the okay from my doctor as long as I'm using the proper protection, which is respirator, goggles, gloves, the chemical suits, everything. I make sure I change my clothes right after, take a shower, everything. So either that or make my husband do the epoxy, which some people are lucky enough to have a husband that will. Not all of us, but yeah. Anyway, so I wanted to let you guys know that and give you a breakdown of some of the products that I use when I make my cups. So without further ado, I will let you know what some of those are with certain things. So we are all familiar with, let's see, actually I will start with glitter. So glitter, this is from Glitter Heart Co. This is one of the main companies that I use. This is called Ice Palace. It has let me turn this on, a rainbow look to it. If you could see that when I move it around. I believe that's called holographic. Once again, Glitter Heart Co. from Ice Palace. See if I can get that. It did actually zoom in. I can never get this thing to focus properly when I show you guys anything up close. The other company that I really love and enjoy because their prices are pretty low are Sass & Crafts or Yaya's Glitter. This is Phantom. It is a 0.008, which means basically it's a super fine glitter, very, very small. So Sass & Crafts Phantom, that's what I got. It's a little backwards. Excuse my nails. I think I mentioned this before in another video. I normally do my nails by myself, and I just have not been able to have the time between doctor's visits and other babies and this baby and just being sick and life. So don't judge. But yeah, anyway, back to the glitter. Phantom, it's really super pretty. As you can see, it's like a purpley blue look to it. It is one of my favorites. The other company that I like to use, this one, as far as I know, she still doesn't have a website where you can order the glitter or anything from, but you can find her on Facebook. It is called Glitter Mama Co. This is Minty Dreams Custom. This is a chunky glitter that she customized. It is, well, that does no justice. There we go. A little bit more light, but as you can see, it's super big. It's super sparkly. It is beautiful on a cup. I have used its sister color, which I call mermaid scales. It's basically exactly like this, but a teal / blue minty look that it, when the light hits it, it gives off different shimmers. But excuse me. You can find her on Facebook. Once again, this is Glitter Mama Co., and that is what her Facebook group page is. I didn't mention with these, I did mention the business, but for Sass & Crafts, you can go to sassandcrafts.com or yayasglitter.com, I believe it is, or just their Facebook page. They go under both names. Once again, I love them the most because they are the cheapest. Glitter Heart Co., they are really decently priced. Maybe a little bit more than Sass & Crafts. You can find them on Facebook. They do have a website as well. I believe it's just glitterheartcompany.com. And they are crazy with shipping. And what I mean by that is you will order and sometimes 2, 3, 5 minutes later, you'll get a confirmation email saying, that it's already has a ship label printed and it's ready to be shipped. You get the order pretty quickly. At least it's shipped out super quickly. And the mailmen are, to blame if it's any late, if it's missing or late or anything like that. But I normally get them within a few days. I want to say 2, 3, sometimes a little bit more. They're pretty close to me. So yeah, I get them pretty quickly, which most people do. So anyway, so that's the glitter I use. A lot of us are familiar with vinyl as well. This is regular vinyl. It is the permanent vinyl, so 651. When you peel it, if I can get it, it's just like regular sticker. It's super strong adhesive. It has this backing. It is, once again, 651 or Oracal 651. You can get it from a bunch of different places. I get it from Amazon, or there's actually a local shop, and sometimes I can find really good deals on some other websites. There's so many I couldn't even list them because there's so many. Just kind of like Google HTV shops or vinyl shops or anything like that, and they will come up, like you will find them. Same thing on Facebook. If you just kind of put in the search bar vinyl shops or anything like, along those lines, HTV or vinyl shops, anything like that, it'll come up. So that is the regular vinyl. Then you have, you can kind of see it over here. This is HTV. HTV stands for heat transfer vinyl. This is really good for shirts, for purses, for shoes, for hats, for mugs. Not much. Well, you can use it. I use it on my cups too. Let's see. Really any kind of like fabric mainly is what it could be used on. So it's one of my favorites to work with because it is easier to weed. And then you also have like, they have a bunch of different types, but there's also like glitter HTV. So it's not really showing too well, maybe a darker color. Nope, it's not showing the sparkles, whatever. So the glitter HTV, I really like working with these when it comes to my tumblers because, once again, the weeding, it's easier to place without the vinyl sticking to your cup and being crooked. Like, you can just kind of place it and maneuver it how you want, and then when you're ready to make it permanent on your cups or your tumblers, you just put a heat gun to it for a couple seconds and it melts on and you're fine. So I want to touch base on that actually a little bit further. I have 2 different heat guns. So it's my husband's tie. I don't know why, he just kind of lays in there, but I have this one. I got it from Amazon. It's pretty cheap. I think it was $15, something like that. This one does get very hot, but you don't want to leave it on too long because the plastic right here will melt after a while. It looks like it maybe did that a little bit, but not anything crazy, and I've used it a lot, and many, many times. When I use this on my heat transfer on my mugs, it takes forever. Not my mugs, tumblers, but when I use them on my tumblers, it takes forever, I'll be honest. But I do have another heat gun that I upgraded to. It is yellow and black. It looks like an industrial tool that your husband might own, or maybe you already own one and you know already what I'm talking about. But that one, I put it on my tumblers or against my heat transfer, and it is on there within 10-15 seconds and it's done, and I'm pretty much done with the cup, besides epoxy and whatnot. Speaking of epoxy, which I've mentioned before, I use KS resin. I use the Liquid Stone one. You can get it from their website. If you want a discount code, you can just use my first initial last name, so A Conway, ACONWAY, and you will get a discount. I believe it's somewhere 5-10%, something like that, off of your order. So there's that. I use a Liquid Stone because obviously it's exactly what it is. It's liquid stone. When you put it on, it cures like it's stone on your cups. It's super clear. It's glass-like. If you do not want micro bubbles, you do want to use a torch on it. Obviously, if you've used the torch before on your cups, You don't want to leave it in one spot too long because it will burn any kind of epoxy. It doesn't matter which brand. You want to just kind of quick glance over, you know, or not glance over, but, you know, pass over and then, you know, just keep going. But it is my favorite of the epoxies. I've used only the two, I believe the KS resin and the Alumite, or however it's pronounced. But this one does not have as strong of a scent to it. Excuse me, I can't like breathe. Babies, that's what happens when you're pregnant. You lose breath super easy and whatnot. Anyway, so with the KS resin, like I said, it's really clear. The Alumite smells more than it. And I can say that the KS resin does take a little bit longer to cure, especially like if it's a cold day. If it's a cold day, I can say, I want to say it takes about 8 hours to cure on a cold day, because I do this in my garage, so it's a lot colder in my garage, which is not like obviously ideal, the 8 hours thing, but if you do it, I personally do mine like right before I go to bed and just kind of leave them on the turners all night, and they're fine to touch in the morning. So yeah, it never bothers me, but on like a normal day, it takes maybe 4 to 5 hours, maybe 6 some days. And I say that because I live in South Carolina and it's super like humid here. It's ridiculous. So it takes a little bit longer, but it's worth it. It seriously is worth the wait. It's worth the extra money. It's worth everything when it comes to your cups. You obviously, when you produce prettier cups, you can charge more for them, which I will, if I remember, try to touch base on the pricing of cups in a little bit. But yeah, so let's see. Oh, I did this cup a while back and I was posting videos on it. This one I did use the KS resin on. You can't see like any bubbles on it. You could see like, it kind of looks like there's one there, but that is actually just like a hole in my glitter. Like, cause it's a moon, so I just did like patches of it, so it looks like a hole. But there's like no bubbles on this cup. It's insane. It's a peekaboo and vinyl and glow in the dark. This thing's insane. I never fully finished it, but it is crazy now. To give you an insight on another one I'm working on for my brother-in-law, we got this guy. I just did this one the other day, but he purchased a silver BMW, so that explains the BMW and the silver. He absolutely loves that car. But yeah, KS resin, as you can see, it's super clear and beautiful, and just anyway. So another one I did, this one was actually returned to me because of pregnancy brain. I spelled softball wrong like a big dummy. And so I actually replaced this one 100% free for the customer. It has the softball team for her daughter on there, and it says straight out of money and laundry detergent down here and softball mom here spelled incorrectly. But yeah, I just had her return the mistake cup, and once again I returned it, or I recreated it for free. Typically customers are really willing to work with you when you're like, hey, I made a mistake. Can I, have the chance to replace that for you? And she was really willing to return this one. Like, I honestly, in this particular circumstance, like, I built a profile, I guess the word would be, with the customer, like, just kind of like a relationship with her. Not like we're friends on Facebook kind of thing, nothing like that, but just a relationship to the point where I was like, hey, I don't even really care if you return this cup, but I really would love the honor to replace it. And she was more than grateful. She was super happy about it. So, and she returned the cup, so it was a win for both of us. And that also gives me the chance to practice stripping the cup, which entails, there's different ways to do it. I've heard if you just kind of like cut at it, it works, and I tried that. You can actually see like a chip up here, and I don't know if you could see a line, but there's a line going down it here. You can see that one for sure, but I tried that method with just kind of taking my X-Acto knife and cutting it. That doesn't work, so I don't recommend it. But I haven't really tried anything else. I really not necessarily didn't have the patience for it, but I have to be like wanting or willing to do it. But there's other ways to do it. I believe you can heat up the epoxy or your knife and cut it that way. I've heard that's an option. I have not tried it. I've heard of taking like a paper towel and soaking that in acetone, pure acetone. That's this guy. I got him from Walmart. It was actually pretty cheap. I was really surprised. But they soak the paper towel in that, and then they wrap that around the cup, and then they take aluminum foil and wrap that around and just kind of like leave it there for a couple days. And when they take it off, this stuff kind of falls away, or they can use their knife and cut it and it'll fall away or whatever. So that's an option too. Some people just kind of have like a painter's bucket full of acetone that they just kind of like throw their cups in, and weeks or days later, whatever they choose to go back to the cup is when they, finish the stripping process on that. But it's usually like gone, eaten completely away or whatever. So yeah, just a quick note on that. I get questions on these all the time. So my sanding blocks, I've had a few people ask me like what grade sandpaper I use. I use these blocks. I ordered them on Amazon. They came in like, I think there was like 6 or 9 of them. I can't remember exactly. But there was a bunch of different like grades on them. I believe one was like 120, another one was 220, somewhere in that ballpark. Don't quote me 100% on those numbers. But there's a 60, that's what this one is, and there's an 80. I honestly, when I sand my cups, I just grab one. I have no preference. I have no certain one that I use, nothing like that. I just grab one. It's sandpaper to me. It all works the same, and I just sand at my plain tumblers. I actually only did one spot where the sticker used to be on here. But I just sand at it until I start smelling metal, which normally is within like 30 seconds. And that doesn't matter what sandpaper I've used. I've personally noticed, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird and wrong. I don't know. But other things that I use are, I use the Mod Podge method. This is just the matte Mod Podge water-based glue, sealer, and finish. That's what that is. I was actually doing a white cup the other day, white glitter, and I was being lazy about spray painting the base white, and I was like, I'll just do Mod Podge and do like 1 or 2 layers and I'll be fine. Don't do that. Don't be lazy. Just spray the cup and then do your glitter. You will thank me later, because you not only, when I did the Mod Podge and 2 layers of white glitter, you could still see the stainless steel through the glitter. You could still see like that gray tint or whatever you want to call it. And it's better to just not be lazy and spray paint the base. Just do it. Trust me. So let's see. I've mentioned my rhinestone cups. I use these guys. These are from Amazon. They're Sorrento Crafts is what it says on the bag. 1,440 little stones come in it. When I did my cup, I used 2 1/4 bag. We'll call it that. So 2 bags and a quarter is what that means. 2 1/4. These are 20 SS in size or 5 millimeters. And when I put these on my cups, I use a wax pen, which that just literally means there's a wax tip. That's what that is. I don't know what this side is used for. I have no idea. But when I do my nails, I actually use this too, the wax side. And there it is. It is actually right next to me. E6000. I've had a lot of questions about when you wash this cup, will it come off? if you drop it, will the stones come off? I haven't had any issues. I haven't had any circumstances, any gems falling off is basically what I'm getting at. So no issues there. This glue is ridiculously strong. It's not like crazy glue, but if you want to compare it to crazy glue and these, when it comes to putting these gems on, it's better than crazy glue. So, let's see. What else do I want to tell you guys about? Oh, duh. So, tips wise for my cups, I've had a couple people ask, or I've seen, questions about like business logos, business stickers. This is mine. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Nope. Okay. Well, it's Splatter. It says Life's Creations, which is my business, and then the link to my Facebook page at the bottom. I picked the Splatter because I like graffiti. I think it looks really cool. I consider it art in a lot of cases. I've seen some that obviously are not artistic at all, and they're just doing it to be rebels or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, I like it, so that's the theme I went with my business logo. This is literally just my logo for my cups. So on the back of my car, it is actually a tree, like the tree of life, and the font is like a readable graffiti. But anyway, the point behind the sticker is a lot of people go back and forth with, should I put my logo on the bottom of the cup, or should I make it, peelable for customers? So what that really means is, there's nothing in here. This is sealed with epoxy. The customer cannot peel this off. If you're doing cup swaps, this is really good too, because unfortunately there's a lot of dishonest people out there. So if you do cup swaps where you basically are like, hey, you make me a cup, I'll make you a cup, we'll set it out, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the arrangement is, they can't peel your sticker off. Or simply, if you didn't even have a sticker there, they can't just be like, oh, this is my cup, I made this. Because your sticker's there. It's embedded with, or cured on with the epoxy. I also put it there because customers lose business cards. I lose business cards as a business owner. So in order to prevent that, you can put it there too. So when a customer's walking and they're like, someone asks, oh, where did you get the cup? It's really pretty, yada, 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 normal, random, hey, I like your cup convo. You could say, oh, I got it from this lady down here, and you just kind of like lift your cup up and show them. They could take a picture or whatever. That's just a make-believe scenario, but I'm sure it happens. But yeah, so I put that there. I also, in my cups, put a care card. I cut them out in the shape of a tumbler. I knocked them over earlier, but let's see. I was doing just like normal rectangles, but that was mainly because for some reason when I do cut and print, my silhouette doesn't always cut where I want it to. I don't know why, but it's just with certain like files. I don't know, but I finally got it to work. And just quick go over with tumblers. I had someone ask me earlier like about washing them, if my rhinestones actually came off my cup, if they came off in the dishwasher. And like a lot of tumbler creators or customers really don't know this, but just kind of quick go over what's on here. It's super important. You want to stress this to customers. It's a hand wash only item. This is hand created. So you don't want all your hard work of these cups to come off. If you put them in the dishwasher will melt the epoxy essentially, and it will eventually peel off. If not the first time, it will eventually. So you do not want to put it in the dishwasher at all. Same thing for the microwave. You do not want to put it in there, same reason. Also, epoxy is a chemical, so we really don't know if even after it's cured, if you put it in the microwave, some kind of craziness will happen. Like it not necessarily blowing up, but When we were kids, we put like a plastic magnet in our microwave, and it melted and caught fire, and just, you don't want that with your cups. So do not put it in the microwave. Stress that to your customers. You do not want to soak it. Same thing. Eventually, I'm sure the water and soaking and everything, whatever you soak it in, will eat eventually at the epoxy. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I don't want to chance it. I don't want, like, say the customer drops it or dents it or something, some kind of crack happens. You don't want that to get into that crack and essentially like break the seal completely. Which is also another thing. Do not drop your cups. Do not let your customers drop the cups. I know accidents happen. A good way to prevent it, I've seen a lot of people where they actually tape off the bottom of their cups so that they basically design from here up. And this is like, it remains stainless steel. That way if they drop it and hit a corner, it doesn't crack, and they don't, like, it eliminates a little bit of that happening. So express those things to your customers. Once again, do not soak, no dishwasher, no microwave, do not drop it. I think I may have touched base on this. Don't soak it, because it does eventually get rusty inside. You don't want that. So don't soak it in bleach, don't soak it at all. Just wash it as soon as you get home if you can, or very quickly, after you get home. Another thing I put on there, these Another thing I put in these care cards is, I just put a little note, and it says, due to this cup being handmade, there might be a possible imperfection. This simply makes the cup uniquely perfect. Anything handmade, you will eventually have, like, a bubble that formed after you torched the cup or put a heat gun on the cup, or whatever. Sometimes I get, for example, there's not really one on here, but where the decal is, if I'm putting epoxy on the cup, sometimes there's a piece of glitter that just is stubborn and is somehow on your glove or on you, or just moves from the cup somehow, somewhere, and it gets on your decals. This is especially true when you're working with like solid colors. Like, I have 3 orders, maybe 2 orders right now that are solid colors. One is a plain black, the other one is a plain maroon. They don't want any glitter whatsoever on it. So, I mean, there's gonna be one piece of glitter at least on these cups. There's no preventing it. I've tried putting it in different sections, or not sections, but like areas, like keep the glitter cups over here and the plain ones over there, kind of thing. There's no stopping it. It's gonna happen. You're gonna get one piece of glitter, and eventually you might get a customer that's like, oh, glitter. They'll probably have more expression in their face about that, but that just kind of eliminates the hey, you made me a crappy cup comment. And then below is my, let's see, tree of life that you can kind of see. Let's see if I can show you on this one. There you go, my tree of life, which it's still not focusing on. Okay, whatever. Tree of life, and then my Facebook link. So that's what I put in the cups. Around holidays, I will put like candy inside the cup. A lot of kids really enjoy the candy. Sometimes the moms or dads or whoever orders the cup really enjoys the candy. You can put little like knickknacks, like, maybe you decide to make a keychain like out of a mold or something, and you just want to be nice and like throw something extra in there. I mean, people do amazing things for their customers. I strongly recommend doing something along the lines. Obviously, don't put yourself out of business by going the extra mile, but you want to do something that just kind of like makes them remember you. So in this particular cup, even though it's for my brother-in-law, he's still a customer. So in this cup, I have my care card, my business card, and 2 mints. So Christmas time, peppermint, hand in hand. So that's what's in that cup. Another thing I want to touch base on Creating your cups, there's many different things you can do. Just to name a few, you have peekaboo, you have glitter, you have your plains and solids, you have your ombres, which is what's going on this cup. You have your solid glitter, you know, all one color. You have, some people use clay. I mean, they get creative with these cups. There's the geodes, I think it's pronounced. There's dirty pours. And then there's also like hand painted. That's actually what I want to show you with this one. So this one kind of looks somewhat crazy right now. I don't know what that is. I imagine it's probably chocolate that my kids were like, oh, this is a pretty cup, let me touch it. And that's what happened there. But I'm trying to like accomplish like a marble cup with this. It's not for a customer. It's just something I am trying to mess around with. But this is hand painted, and eventually it will have like epoxy on it and mica powders and just a bunch of different things so that it doesn't look as amateur, I guess. So yeah, just like I said, get creative. You can do a bunch of different things. So try your hand at the hand painted thing. Another thing, I think there's just two more things I want to touch base on. I track my customers or my orders through just a simple sales book. I think I got this at, Dollar General. So simple sales book. Has like customer's copy, and I keep the yellow one for myself. So yellow copy, carbon copy, I think it's called. But I just write the order down. I put it on a cork board, which is behind my computer here, and I put them in order so that I know which one's next. And that's how I do my orders. There's many different ways that you could do it. People write them down in notebooks. I tried that. It wasn't as organized as I thought it would be. But some people do like Excel sheets and just order forms. There's so many different ways that you can go about this. So yeah, that's how I do it. If I have a rush order, I just move that ahead on the line, which I do actually have two right now. One due tomorrow, which they ordered tonight. Crazy scenario. And then another one due before Christmas. Actually, 3 orders because I have a shirt order as well due before Christmas. So, let's see. There is actually 2 more things. So one is water slides. So I have one of the rush orders that I have. They want an all white glitter cup, which I explained to you before. Like I did the Mod Podge, like lazy step with the whole not spray painting it thing. I ended up soaking that in warm water and removing that and spray painting it, and now it's under epoxy. Actually, no, in the morning it will be under epoxy, and I'll do the epoxy method for glitter. And so with water slide, or then I have to put these sunflowers on it. These are water slides. Water slides are basically temporary tattoos. You know, when you're a kid, or if you have kids or whatever, you know what a temporary tattoo is. So when you're designing this in Silhouette, I don't know if Cricut has this option or anything. I don't like Cricut, so anyway, so Silhouette has an option where you can put these registration marks. So they have a square line here and a line here. So basically what I did was I took this image off of, actually I think I bought this image. I didn't take this from anywhere, but I bought this image and I printed, well, I lined them up how I wanted. And when you're working with the program, you add these registration marks and then you outline your image. Like I used, I can't think the name of the tool on the program. I just used it like an hour ago. Anyway, it's like an outlining tool, or I don't remember. Anyway, at this moment I don't remember. But it's basically an outlining tool that will go around the entire image of what you're trying to do. And you can make it as far away from the letters or image as you want, or as close as you want. So I created that. You can't see it when you print it. And the reason for that I'll explain in a second. But basically what you do in the program is you do file print, and you print this from your normal printer, like inkjet printer or whatever. I don't think there's really a specific one that you really need, but actually there is. You do have to use the inkjet. So I use this. This is a clear water slide paper. I got it from Amazon. Let's see. This one's the white, so you use the white one when you have like darker background cups. But anyway, so same concept. It is Hayes Paper Co. That's the brand. Got it from Amazon. There's like 20-30 sheets or more in there, and you just load that up into your printer, and then, like I said, file print on Silhouette, and you get this image. So once you get that, you have your registration marks. You put this on your Silhouette cutting mat, and you put it into your machine. You tell your Silhouette to cut on, and then it will cut your outer lines that you created before, and it does that by reading these registration marks, so it knows exactly where to cut, so you don't end up with like crazy cut marks, which is essentially the same thing as a print and cut, which I've mentioned before. Like sometimes I have issues with, sometimes it doesn't cut in the right spot, and I don't really know why. But yeah, when I did cut it, I got these. These are pretty cool. So when I'm ready to use these, I just dunk them under some water, let them sit for a couple minutes, then I place them on my cup. You can either do it like this or like this. When you do it like this, you want to flip your image so that it is like reverse. And when you're doing it, essentially you want to just slide. It won't do it on this cup because this cup is not finished with epoxy, but you'll basically have a layer of epoxy already down and sanded. So this is basically the step you do when you do your decals. So if you have a reverse image and you put it down like this, you just slide it down and your image will separate from the paper on the back and stay on here. Essentially what you do after that is just kind of like gently press it down and even it out, get bubbles out. Some people use scrapers. I don't personally, because I'm afraid I will strong hand it or whatever you want to call it and ruin the image, so I just gently, rub it. Or you can just do it this way, which, it depends on the person if they want to reverse the image or not. And same concept, it's already wet and soaked, so you just gently pull it away and it goes onto your cup. So 2 different ways. One thing I do want to mention about water slides though, before you cut it, so at this stage, this is just printed. Before you go to the cutting, you want to take a clear sealer, it's a spray paint, and you spray 3 layers on it. So 1 layer, cover the whole thing. It doesn't have to be a crazy thick layer or anything, just like, just a nice coating of it. And you let it sit for 30 seconds to a minute or whatever, let it dry. Then you do a next layer, let it dry, and then you do a 3rd layer and you let it dry. Once that's done, then you can do the cutting and dunking it underwater. If you don't do the sealer, then you will have like running ink and you don't want that. So definitely seal it. Last topic I want to touch base on is pricing. Stand firm on your pricing, no matter what the customer says. You're gonna get, for example, this cup is a $50 cup. I've had customers who are like, you are crazy, $50 for a 30-ounce tumbler. That is insane. But if you look at this cup, you have decals like crazy. You have them on the front, the back. You have chunky glitter, you have fine glitter, you have epoxy, you have Mod Podge if you've done the Mod Podge method. You have business logos sometimes at the bottom. I mean, you put so much energy and work into these cups. $50 and the products that you put into them. $50 is not a lot for your cup. It's not a lot for your time or anything. So don't accept that. You can also, like, if you really want the sale or you need it, you can offer discounts. You can do whatever. It's your business. It's your world. or you can just simply walk away. This particular customer actually for this cup, they were completely fine with the price. They understood she actually works with glitter as well, not for cups or anything. But she does do like retainers for, after braces and whatnot. And so she knows, she understands the price of glitter, like she got it. But there's other customers who just are like, no, $50 isn't happening. So another example on that is I did have a customer in my neighborhood who, she was like, I really can't afford that. I really want to order cups for my neighbor, or not my neighbors. I want to really order them for my coworkers. $50 per cup is really too much and out of my budget range right now, especially with Christmas, and I've already done like teacher orders, and she just had a lot going on with finances. So I really sympathized, I really understood. Sometimes customers will lie and say stuff like that. You just really have to go with your gut on it, or just, as a person, like heart to heart or whatever you want to call it, make your own prices as you go too. Sometimes you have to do that. But I did offer her only $35 on those cups. So it was a huge discount on my cups and the products that I use. And I probably ate the cost maybe a little bit on it, but because I had like stock of the glitters and it was an easy, simple cup, like I just let it slide. It's the giving season. So, there's situations where you can do, like I said, whatever you want. It's your world, it's your business. You can price them how you want, when you want. But there's other situations, like I said, where you really have to stay firm. For example, I mentioned before, a customer ordered cups from me a couple hours ago, and she needs them done by 12 o'clock tomorrow. And I was just like, I'm gonna have to stay up all night to do these things. It's crazy. I didn't tell her that, but it's crazy, So, yeah, I am actually gonna do the cups for her, because the order came through, a friend. It's a friend's customer. I allowed the discounting pricing, because my friend doesn't do cups, like she doesn't charge as much as I do. It's not going to be like an epoxy cup, it's just plain vinyl. So, it's easy, it could be done by tomorrow. It's not a big deal. And I was saying a second ago, because it's my friend's customer and a repeat customer at that for them, like I'm just going to accept the offer, I'm going to do it and just move on. But when you mention like an extra charge for rush order, for example, I did, and she was fine, but then she reached out to my friend and was like, I don't want to pay that. So you have to stick firm on your prices with some situations. I stuck firm on my price of the rush order and everything, even though like I offered the discount of, my friend's pricing, and the customer was like, what, I do need them. It's fine, do the order that, I'll pay it. And so, yeah, and then you have other customers who are just like, yeah, sorry, I can't afford it. And it's okay. It's completely okay. So just keep those things in mind. Don't get discouraged. And yeah. So just want to mention a couple of those things. By no means am I like a professional with my videos. I don't have like a professional setup. Obviously, you can see my bookshelf with, my husband's comic books or whatever the heck those are, and Bible books and knickknacks and whatnot. So you can see it's not a professional setting by any means. It's just your average person who decided to do cups one day, and she really enjoys teaching others how to do it, and do heart to hearts with you guys, and just kind of, yeah, anyway. So I just want to, like I said in the beginning, touch base with you guys on everything that's going on, a couple things that I use when I do my cups, tips and tricks and whatever else, just kind of vent and banter off and whatever. This is, just a talking video. If you've made it this far, I'm sorry it's so long. I just wanted to touch base on why I haven't posted in a while, on thanking my new subscribers, my likers, my commenters, and letting you guys know why I haven't posted. I think I may have just said that, but pregnancy brain. So I can't remember if I said it a second ago, but yeah, I really, really appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for watching this, and I hope you continue to watch, continue to subscribe, continue to comment, and enjoy, and just live life. So thank you so much.